We're all set to go for a very interesting Formula 2 race here in Baku. Let's go straight over as practice is underway. Welcome to round 12 of the FIA Formula 2 Championship in 2025. We're in the Windy City, a mixture of the old and new. The Baku City Street Circuit hosts once again for the 10th time the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. This wonderful circuit is a mixture of the new city alongside the Parliament buildings and the old city alongside the castle. Sprint race at 21 laps, feature race at 29. This is going to be a very entertaining weekend. Elevation change here is at 27 meters, its highest point at turn 13 and 14. It's a fast flowing circuit, and if you make a mistake in the wrong part, it will provide a safety car, maybe even a red flag. The soft and super soft tyres are the option, with a medium downforce level, high brake wear, low tyre usage, and high fuel consumption as well, always providing the factors. And welcome along as the virtual safety car is out, as we are testing the systems out here as well. I'd like to say welcome along to live coverage on JBMotorsports 2 and delayed coverage on the main JB Motorsports account. We've had a problem with our stream keys at the moment, so we're on the second channel for this weekend up until about Sunday at the Formula 1 Grand Prix, where we'll be simulcasting as well, unaffected for the IMSA race and the Cup race as well, but everything else moves over to channel 2 for live coverage as well. I'm Joshua Birch, alongside me is Tom Gans, and Tom, it's a cloudy mid-morning over there in Baku, just gone 9 AM here as well, and the drivers heading out. The Eurasia racing now gets underway, and fingers crossed it's going to be a smooth weekend, because Baku is tricky with a Formula 2 car. We've seen nearly every time chaotic racing here.
Absolutely so, and not, well, from the first time that Championship, when it was GP2 in those days, in 2016, there's nothing short of being chaotic around this race show. It shows a level of unpredictability. It's one of those races where you could start so far back down the field and absolutely recover it all in either the sprint or the feature races. George Russell did it once in 2018 in the sprint race, where I think he came through from 12th on the grid to win, which was a remarkable race itself for George. And of course, this man riding on board Leo Fornaroli, the championship leader, after a textbook performance at Monza, where he won the sprint race. Luke Browning winning the feature race as well. So Fornaroli, you have to say, is the man in form right now, with all the misfortunes of others falling by the wayside. But there is still time, of course, between now and the end of the season in Abu Dhabi for drivers to save their seasons. Well, one man of two will be making his debut this weekend. It's Lawrence Van Herpen in the number 22, taking over what was Max Estersen's seat, I believe, or Sammy Megatune, if I can't quite remember. The other one being Martinius Stenshaw in the Trident. So both Trident drivers replaced for this weekend, with two F3 graduates stepping in from now until the end of the year.
Yep, so that's pretty similar to what we saw last year when Gabriel Mini came through into Formula 2 from the F3 Championship. They get promoted up a little bit early on as well. There's the, as well, all the areas around Baku that have been coming in. There's a massive drop down. That's 27 meters from the highest point to the lowest point on the circuit. Goes back down to the sea level. That is alongside. We're alongside the ocean here, just about a stone's throw away from the circuit. Similar to what we have in Zandvoort, but we don't get any sand blowing onto the circuit. It's not that type of ocean alongside us. The long back straight as well, which is about 2.7 kilometers long as they run down over the line. And we start the lap times in towards the first corner as well. Hard on the brakes, a 90-degree left-hander, followed by turn 2 and another 90-degree left. Turn 3, guess what, another 90-degree left and a 90 right. It's a stop-start nature to the opening part of the circuit, Tom, but it does give us some great overtakes at the start because it is a nature of long straights together. 2 DRS zones back-to-back. Formula 2 takes full advantage of that because you can't really overtake on the rest of the lap.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's nowhere else you could get the overtake done at. I mean, if you get good drive, maybe coming out of turn 15 on the run down to 16, then maybe. But yes, you are right. It's going to be predominantly down those 2 straights where the DRS zones are. We've got an interview.
Monza has been I would say, almost perfect weekend. Qualifying was quite messy with only 1 push lap for us. I was happy to be in the top 10 because Monza is really volatile, so you can be either way P1 or P last in 1 lap. So with the chaos we had in qualifying with P8, I was quite happy because I knew that on the races in Monza you can do a lot, and just to finish on the podium twice was really great. We got a lot of points back, what we were missing on previous rounds. So of course this is a big motivation for the team, for myself, and I just hope we can continue with this great pace now until the end of the season.
It's Joshua Durskin there talking about what he's looking forward to towards the end of the season as we watch him out on the circuit with a 43.7 first sector, a 50.0 second sector as he comes into the last corners and really starts to open up the throttle. See the basic systems that you get in Formula 2. You don't get any driver tracker, you literally just get a timing screen across 2 pages, and that is it. Which kind of makes a little bit of sense. But here's Sebastian Montoya down into turn number 3 before turning back to 4, and really pushing back up. And Montoya is somebody as well, Tom, who's had a bit of an interesting weekend. He sort of needs the time to get back into the swing of things, but I reckon 9 times out of 10 we're not going to see much from the young Colombian for the end of the year because the circuits don't suit him. We've got Baku, then we go to Qatar, then we go over to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, well, I think Abu Dhabi is going to be one he's more familiar with. Qatar, he hasn't done any racing yet, from what I can remember. But, you know, it's about learning the how the car behaves. So we've got an interview with him now.
The braking is where you can make the most difference, and the track looks a bit dirty, especially with the weather how it is. It's kind of raining and stuff, so there's quite a lot of dirt and dust on the track. So making sure you can maximize the brakes without overdoing it is the biggest thing, because we've seen from previous years that yes, there's a lot of time on the brakes, but also if you make a mistake and you lock up the tire in some corners, it's really easy to find the wall. So making sure you have the right balance in that sense as a driver, how much risk versus reward you're going to take, and yeah, just lap by lap get a little bit more confidence and maximize that.
Yeah, it sounds confident, doesn't it, as well, about what he's going to see over the weekend, which I think I can accept. Coming into it, he's going to be feeling like this, but 9 times out of 10, Seb has not had the best time in F2 this season. There's his father, Juan Pablo Montoya, double Indy 500 winner. Was it 9-time Grand Prix winner? So we'll see how he goes through. Won his first race back at Monza in 2001. Coming into it. Won more races actually with McLaren, which is always, you've got to remember that 05 season.
Just to correct you on that. Yeah, I think he won 7 races, not 9, Josh. He won 4 with Williams. 1 in 2001, 2 in 2003, and 1 in 2004. And all 3 of his with McLaren came in 2005.
Yeah, which was at Monaco. I want to say Shanghai.
No, Silverstone, Monza in
There you
Brazil.
go. So Durtskin coming through with an AX 1-2. It's a 2:02.278. Clan Shields at a 2:06.996. They're down the back straight. This is on board now. Over the line comes Martin Estenshaw and does. I'm trying to find out where the time's gone now. 5th fastest with a 2:20.264. You're right there, by the way, replacing Max Esterson. Let's see what he's got to say about joint championship.
I'm looking forward to it. Of course, gonna be first time for a couple of things. First time with the team, the car, and the track. So there's a lot of things to learn. Yeah, we've been on the sim already a bit, so I should know where I'm going. Learning the car, I know it a bit now, but still, it's gonna be something else experiencing it in real life. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
And I think he's proved himself in Formula 3, hasn't he, Tom, as well, for Stenshaw. He deserves this opportunity to get promoted up into Trident, replacing Max Esterson, who, all fairness to Max, didn't really have the greatest year, whereas Stenshaw's been flying in the Formula 3 Championship. But we've been saying about how, he's actually quite a good little racer, isn't he? He's got that determination to go for the risky moves, same as what we said with Gabriel Mini last year.
Well, Trident have been trailing so much to the back for a long time, and they've got to try something at some stage, because we know they're very strong in Formula 3, it's clear. But they do need to work on their Formula 2 project if they're going to help guide drivers up the ladder towards Formula 1. And Stenshon will be all too wary of it. Whether he will be with Trident next year remains to be seen. But yes, you're right, he has demonstrated what he can do in a Formula 3 car, but Formula 2 is another different kettle of fish to drive compared to what he's used to. Downforce levels will be better a little bit. The power output will be greater, which means more braking application. So this is going to be a new test for him, and whilst he has done a lot of laps in the sim, like he said in the interview, it's going to be a different experience on circuit in real life. Heads over the line with a 2:04. We know the lap time will come down in due course. But yeah, it's a different experience for Stenshon coming up, and best of luck to him. And likewise for Lawrence Van Herpens, we see the Trident crew on the pit wall, aiming for a strong weekend in what's been a difficult year for them.
This is a sliding actually for Lawrence Van Hopen in the 22, just coming out of the penultimate corner, down the back straight, and Laurel leaves down in towards one of the 90 degrees. I don't think that's turn 1. More like to me it was down at turn number 3. So Richard Bashaw, MP Motorsport looking on again, stronger and stronger. Third in the points at 144. For a time he was the championship leader, and for a time the championship leader in Formula 2 is older than the championship leader in Formula 1 by 5 months when Bashaw led and Piastri was there, but now Oscar leads the championship over there. Now join up with Richard Bashaw. Coming out of 1 into turn 2. Down to second gear. Not a push lap immediately, Tom, you can tell, can't you, with how leisurely they're driving around. They're just building up in the opening 15 minutes, which is the scheduled track acclimatization time, before the real session begins with 30 to go.
So looking at the compounds we've got this weekend, Josh, we can see for sure who's on the red side mod soft tyre. Now, normally in practice, a driver would use a set of the harder compound compared to the soft, because they do bring, what is it, 6 dry compounds over the course of the weekend, or 5 dry. Yeah, because they've got 4 of the harder compound and 2 of the softer compound. And for sure seems to be on a set of the soft compound already.
Yeah, soft and ultra soft as the scheduled compounds for this weekend. Pirelli getting a few eyes raised about that, with them bringing the softest of the compounds available to a circuit where there's high tyre blowouts. So in Formula 1 we've stayed with the compound of C4, C5 and C6. So So they've tried to go a step softer, similar to what we saw back in 2021 actually, with them going a step softer. Then after 21, 22, 23, 24, they went a step higher. Now here this year, they've gone a step lower with the C6. So we're going to see similar things coming into Monaco. Ruth Buscombe put out her statement as well. We'll talk more about this in the Formula 1 session at 9:30 this morning, British summertime. But that C6 tyre is going to be not the preferred qualifying tyre, surprisingly. Teams are looking at, they're going to try and use the C5 to set some banker laps and then put out the C6s for one run only because of the nature of the circuit. And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it, Tom? Because even in Formula 2, we're going to see a lot of tyre blistering because the nature of the racing here, you know what I see? It's sort of Gabriel Mini on the front right. They just blister incredibly quick because right now the circuit's green. It's dusty, as you can see, with all the foliage on the circuit, but it's going to take a long time, and there's rain in the air that could wash away any grip. So we're sort of struggling to keep up this weekend, aren't we?
Yep, and not to mention drain covers, which Josh Russell fell foul of in 2019, which wasn't a great sight by any means. You mentioned about the tyre compounds for this weekend, the C4, C5 and C6. Well, you know one team that's going to benefit from the fact that they could qualify on the C5 tyre.
Oh. Is that going to be a certain Williams, who are stronger on qualifying?
No.
Oh, who are you going for
No.
then?
No, it's Aston Martin.
Oh, yeah, that's very true, actually. Yeah, they were strong in Hungary, weren't they, when last time I had it?
And they were strong at Imola when they used the C5 compound to get into Q3 with. And then they used, I can't remember they used the soft compound in Q3 or whether they used the medium, the C5.
And then they had a brand new set of softs left for the race and was able to capitalise on that quite well. Okay, let's have a word then with Leonardo Forlaroli. He's been having an interesting couple of weeks in Formula 2, but he's now on the board.
Well, for sure was an amazing emotion. Even if it was a sprint race win, you know, seeing all the crowd cheering for me, everyone was super happy. Hearing the national anthem of Italy in Monza, wow, was amazing.
Leo Fornaroli continuing to impress.
That was a very quick interview coming into it, but yes, it was a very good weekend as Forlaroli now in the middle sector looking stronger and stronger. For sure, 159.534. He's gone fast.
Going into this weekend, Fornaroli has a 21-point lead in the championship, which may feel like quite a big lead, but it can easily be wiped out. And if Luke Brownie can continue his good form, there is a chance he'll be in the fight for the championship. For sure, third on 144. He was the leader of this series for a little bit. For Alex Dunn, who's been on he didn't have a good weekend, coming away with no points by the end of it, but he's aiming that this weekend could turn around his season. We've got a yellow flag on circuit that's gone away very quickly. Tension's gone purple in Sector 1. Where is he in Sector 2? He might even be purple, you know, if he's lucky. No, it's just a green this time. But this is an encouraging start to the weekend for Martini Stenchon, part of the McLaren setup. Some people would say, well, why hasn't he got the McLaren livery on it? Well, Trident weren't able to get it on there in short notice, really.
Yeah, so it's quite ironic that he's going to be in the Trident livery compared to what we've seen in Formula 3, where the McLaren livery drivers have actually thought, well, the livery's a bit too heavy, let's just strip it off and run in black chrome, and it kind of works. I mean, Ugo Kachuru started it, Brandon Badoa then went back on it, and he had two, so that was the 1 and the 3. Me and Omi and yourself, Tom, as well, trying to identify the cars during the racing was a little bit hard. As we ride with Jack Crawford now, rising up. No DRS yet, by the way, so you're flat out until now. And you can hear the revs rise a little bit more as it comes over the line. It's very close up towards that barrier. It's a 158.285 for Crawford. So already we're seeing 2 seconds a lap improvement out there. Fastest third sector of anybody at 28.191. coming in as well. 41.6 first sector coming in there as well for Mega 2. Oh, hello. Off the circuit goes Rita Miata in the ART, and that was the reason for the yellow flag, and very close Victor Martins to the wall, exit of turn 15 there, Tom, and it's such an easy part of the track to just go straight into the barrier. We saw last year several drivers getting caught out there, both in F2 and F4.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of that in qualifying later today, where drivers having to brake in a straight line so much and then using as little curve as possible, because it is quite a high curve there at turn 15. If you hit that too hard, you're going into the scene of an accident, and those tech pro barriers are just there waiting for you. And like you say, the lap time's getting faster and faster and faster because the fuel is being burned constantly. Now, drivers are only able to carry into practice with a certain amount of fuel. They can't refuel in the pit lane, so this is the amount of fuel that they are allowed for practice. Centered on going up to second place with an encouraging lap time 158.291. That car is very much dialed into this racetrack, and for sure, heading through the castle section, heading out and then through turn number 12, and there's 2 more kinks here before he arrives at turn 15. There is a car up front which should remain out of the way, and does so. That would have been Jack Crawford remaining clear. And how does Vashora apply the possible? So you can just see he puts the right-hand tyre just over that white line to give himself the optimal entry for turn 15. And you can just see him set to 2 with that purple. And there is also a car in front of him that could give him a nice tow down this long straight. That could even be a factor when it comes to qualifying later that determines the grid for Sunday's race.
Absolutely, that toe is very, very critical here. I think Ruth Buskin said you need to be about 7 seconds as well coming into that last corner so you don't catch the car in front to give an optimal tow. And Vashore's gone fastest with Kushmani in second now. Bogdanovic has jumped to the top, 157.313 now. Browning, 156.769. Victor Martins goes second fastest as well. As we now see across that line, Alexander Dunn into P5. Arvid Lindblad it moves ahead. Yellow flag briefly out of the circuit now, and now back out on our control monitor. So someone's off the circuit, probably down an escape road, I want to say, with it being Baku. Still yellow flags, we don't know where. Don't get that information in Formula 2 like we do in F1. So we're left wondering. There it is, Miata.
Tell you what, he's cooked those brakes.
Yeah.
And that's over at turn 15, Josh.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we were just talking about, where if you go straight on into the barrier, it sort of surprises you with how narrow apex that is. But he's doing an 1,000,000-point turn, gets going, but yeah, those brakes glowing like crazy, and lots of fluid falling out the back of the attenuator at the back. So I hope that's just the fluid that's been boiling over onto it. Can't see it. Yeah, look, it's flying out the back. That's not an exhaust, so it's got water pressure issue. But those brakes were completely cooked. He's just lifting off now. Let's see a replay if we've got it from our cameras. And we ask, we shall receive. Down on the inside, locks up on the front right, Tom, and then panics because he's going to look at the front left as well.
Yep. This is an anti-clockwise circuit, so it's the right-hand tyre that's going to take more of the beating compared to the left. And Vittorio Miata doing the right thing to go to the escape road. Not a lot of space in there, but at least he's able to recover to the circuit without the necessary red flags being brought out. Kushmani going up into P2, he's just done a 157.1 in his dams. But the level of track evolution on this circuit is incredible. 1 minute, it's like a 1:58, then a 1:57, and now Luke Browning breaking into the 1:56s. It wouldn't at all surprise me if we end up in the 1:55s before this session reaches its conclusion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think we're going to see times improve. I'm trying to think what we could see come qualifying as well in a couple of hours' time. It's all a bit condensed here today as well. It all starts 7 AM and ends at 2 PM. British summer time, and that's all we've got for you today. Just 4 sessions across JB Motorsports as well, and you'll see everything on a little bit of a delay if you're watching on the main channel. but we'll be back in action Sunday afternoon. So, and that's really annoying. It has to be Baku, because if it was in any other race weekend, the race starts at 2. No, race starts at 1 here. So, Richard Vashaw's first sector, 41.0 actually is coming through. So, he's already got the time. Lines up for the castle section. No power steering, of course, Tom. And around this place, especially the castle section, that would scare me, because you've got to be, you know, it's only 8 meters wide wide, and you've got to be so precise with it. And this year, there's added difficulty that there's a new bicycle lane, so there's got green paint on the inside. If that's, well, when we get the rain, because it is going to rain at some point this weekend, that castle section is going to become incredibly slippery. And we've never had a damp Azerbaijan before.
We haven't yet, but Baku is not immune to rain, because it can actually rain in Baku. It's not like in the Middle East where rain is very much few and far between. I mean, it even goes back to, I remember a World Cup qualifier between Azerbaijan and England, and it absolutely lashed it down. This is way back in 2004, Josh, for your information, so you've got to be a little bit too young to remember.
I remember it, yeah. I actually remember the match. I fell asleep on my dad's knee. Well, I remember it very well.
Do you remember the score?
Was it England 3, Azerbaijan 2?
No, it was 1-0. It wasn't a good game. But Michael Owen scored the winning goal in the 22nd minute, I believe.
I've not got a memory. I just remember it hammering down with rain, and the amount of rain that came down was quite a lot. God, you've triggered a memory there.
I know. I mean, I remember it very well, because those were the days where England games, like, I think how it used to work was the home games that the BBC tend to have, and Sky would broadcast the away games that England play in their qualifying campaigns for like the World Cup or for the Euros.
One thing I always remember with the Sky coverage back then was how 90s it felt, even in the early 2000s. It was still very much an on-course thing.
Yeah.
I still remember watching the last ever episode of Friends in 2004. That was the Jacob Creeks advert bottles as well. It was always quite an entertaining one. Yes, we're that old, people. Friends ended, 21 years ago. I still remember it. That's so scary. So, 20 minutes left of the session. In the pit lane is Stenshaw. So 2 Tridents are in, Mini and Montoya in there as well. And cooling down on those brakes. They get so hot here, Tom. That's incredible just to see the amount of energy that goes into them.
Yeah, you can just see the brakes are on fire already. And if there's one track where brakes are going to be absolutely paramount, it's here. And I think it's going to need a fire extinguisher to get that out. I think it's going to take more than air blowers to put that out, folks. So if I was you, I'd probably get a marshal to get a fire extinguisher for that. For Martinia Stenchon. Well, they're trying something different. And yeah, that'll be Stenchon remaining in the pit lane for a few more minutes just to cool off those brakes, because that could really, really be a factor in how this weekend plays out. Victor Martin with the fastest time, 1 at 56.3, able to find some time. It's been another tricky season for Martin. A lot of misfortune go against him again, but that's been the case with him so often in each of his 3 seasons in Formula 2, and I don't know where he can catch a break.
I wish I knew as well. Probably tell him he's had a horrible couple of months coming into this one. Really has struggled time and time again as Ollie Goethe comes through. Kind of want to be on the side of saying for Victor Martins, look, you've had a bad year, reset, go again in 26 and show us what you're made of, because he is a star, Victor Martins. As we look at him now on the circuit, this is Luke Browning into turns 6 and 7 through the castle section. Sector 1 was a 40.999 as well coming through. There's that new paint I was on about through the castle section. When I saw that yesterday on the socials, I was like, that's brave. gave that idea? By the way, that's permanent bicycle lane for people. So the cars now have a hell of a time getting to the castle section.
They do love their cycling here in Baku.
They do. Harry Benjamin and Anthony Davidson, who are our commentary team this weekend, went out on said bicycles and have done a couple of lap guides that you'll see throughout the weekend. David Croft's not with us. He is on honeymoon finally with his lovely wife Laura. So a year later they finally managed to get that honeymoon. As we now see lots of toes down towards turn number 1, and that's the Gannon which goes into second place, but not going to go well. There's the 155 you're on about, Tom.
Yep, and Martin's just missed out on a 1 minute 55, but a great lap from Luke Browning. But that had been contributed by the tow he got from the cars ahead. Leo Fornaroli aiming to join the 155 club, not that time around, 6th fastest for him. That lap was a 56.8. Good for him. Montoya and Shields have really yet to make outstanding improvements since the last we saw of them. Montoya's just gone back out on circuit now, but it's been a strong session for both Martini Stenchon and Lawrence Van Herpen. Stenchon 16th, Van Herpen 18th. And we've got the, I have to say, Roman Stanek, Josh, who a lot of people placed him as the right-hand man for Fornaroli. But there's been a number of races this year where he has actually surprised me, and it's great to see him actually stepping up his game, because I thought a few years ago he was very close to bringing his motorsport career to an end, and he's managed to recover it. We've got a yellow flag somewhere which has gone away very quickly.
Someone again running off the circuit, but no, I'm with you. I thought Stanak's season was done quite a few times, but he's fought back hard, and again it picked up with the Invictus squad. As here we're going to have a word with now.
Feels good. Yeah, it was a great weekend, but equally, it's one of the last 4, so we've got 3 to go, and we're right there. So, yeah, just got to keep on pushing, and yeah, let's see how we turn up here. Quite exciting, this place. Obviously, it's not so sunny today, but I think over the weekend, maybe Sunday and Friday should be good, and maybe a bit of rain on Saturday. So it should be an interesting weekend.
Yep, going in there as well for Luke Browning. Looking stronger and stronger coming through. Let's just see the text message was quite funny. So, who's diving in? Who's still out there? Martin, Stursken, Maney, Goethe. No, even they're coming in. So, everybody now diving into the pit lane with 13 minutes to go of this session. It's a larger pit lane here actually this year. They've slightly moved it back towards as well to give them a bit more runoff area after teams complained. So this fantastic pit building that you see isn't permanent. It gets put up every single year. It takes around about 2 weeks to put up. And they've just moved it back. You can probably see actually, Tom, can't you? They've just moved it back a couple of inches. Just a little bit in order to help out the pit lane run after a couple of years ago there were some incidents. So it's slightly larger.
It may need to be even larger when Cadillac arrive.
Yeah, that's true.
Arrive in 2026, yeah. Going back to the topic of football, there is a side from Baku called Karabag, spelled Q-A-R-A-B-A-G. And earlier in the week, they triumphed against Benfica away in the Champions League, a side that is going to be managed, Benfica that is, by Jose Mourinho.
Oh, wow.
Going back to his old home.
That's a surprise. Mourinho's going back. See, I would have given Mourinho the England job. I think that would have been a nice sort of return for him. Well, that's news. That is news. Good luck, Jose Mourinho. The special one. So Durskin now comes through. Still pushing on quite hard actually in this session. 10 minutes to go. See the rear stepping out massively now. Still early in the morning, of course. To come through. Lucky actually we're on air actually, because the times in the comm chart were an hour out. So if it wasn't for Tom, we would have been on air later.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. We've sorted that out. Actually, it works out better because that means that I can properly get ready after this session. And we have now time for breakfast, because it didn't look like we did. I was wondering why the schedule was so compact. So we've still got not the Porsche Super Cup, but there's a couple of other support races on this weekend alongside the F2 and F1. On board with Montoya, listening to that Prema sing over the line. No tow, and he's 2.4 seconds down, Tom. That's insane.
Yeah. And it worries me as to whether we're going to see a kind of Monza-esque situation where no one really wants to punch that hole.
Yeah, no one does, and that's going to be a very interesting qualifying coming into it as to who's going to sacrifice themselves in order to give some lap time, which I don't think is going to happen that much. It's too much of an up and down circuit. So we continue on. Yeah, okay. I'm just double checking that everything was okay on our timing graphics. Everything is. Alexander's done. Flying in. 8th fastest at the moment, 5th in the Drivers' Championship on 124 points. He was a charge, wasn't he, Tom, in the early part of the season? We thought, oh, could Dunn become a championship contender? And he's locked up ever so slightly at the exit, but keeps it on the circuit. We thought, oh, could he do something about it?
Well, he's had a strong year as Alex Dunn, and it's been quite a feat over the course of the year. He's done a lot better than expected from what we saw of him in Formula 3 last year. But I'm very happy that he's brought Ireland to its knees, considering the passing of Eddie Jordan, God bless him. And he's got on with it, really, has done, and he's showing to McLaren why he's got the potential to perhaps maybe be on the Formula 1 grid. There's even been rumours since the last round at Monza of him maybe going to Alpine,
That
which I
makes
think
sense.
could be a good feat.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good sense. It's got permanent yellow out somewhere on the circuit, by the way. That is not going away. But I agree, Alexander Dunn and Alpine would be a good fit, and I think he would score points, unlike, unfortunately, Jack Doohan and Franco Colapinto, who have not scored any points this year. Franco Colapinto has been systematically the worst driver over the stats of the season. As what has happened for this yellow flag to come out? They're not red flagging it either, so we don't know anything, unfortunately. That's great for us up here in the commentary box, but we don't get told anything. Trying to see if I think it's Lawrence Van Hopen who's coming to the pit lane. Van Hopen. So
It's over at turn 1, Josh.
Right.
There's a yellow flag that was flashing on the board in the background, so someone
There is.
has gone straight on. Yeah. So Don's just backed off there. We'll find out exactly what has happened. No one's ended up in the barrier, so I wonder if someone's just trying to perform a 3-point send. This is John Bennett. This is at turn 2. And what has he managed to do here? Well, he's just gone straight on.
Didn't even make the corner. That's a bit weird.
Well, those tyres will be cold.
Oh, hello, there's another one off.
That's Jack Crawford going straight on.
Oh, look at the brake fire. Great example of how treacherous it is out here. So 2 cars off at turn 2. That's the yellow flag reason.
That might be turn 3 for Crawford, actually.
It is, yeah.
He was just before the 3-point. Yeah, he
So
just
who was
reversed
off at-
out of there, and
Who was off at 1? Because there was yellow flags down
That's-
turn 1. So there's 1, 2 and
Yeah.
3 red yellows.
wouldn't be able to guess that one,
Oh!
unfortunately.
There we go. I heard that lock up. Off the circuit, Arvid Lindblad. It looks like he stalled the engine as well. Yeah, he has. No revs on the dash. This will have to be a red flag. Can't leave a car vulnerable.
I reckon they'll get that under a VSC, Josh. It's well off the firing line.
Is that turn
so
2?
That's turn 2, yeah.
Should be able to get that pulled off because there's just the Qatar Airways banner there.
Oh, that's pouring fluid. So that explains why he hasn't been able to fire that up again.
He's out the car. They'll have to red flag this now. Virtual safety car has come out. Well, that's an interesting decision from race control. I was almost certain that they would throw the reds for that, but virtual safety car it is. Try and get that under contention. There's our big boss. I think you're right. It's just near the exits. They can pull it away, but he's trying to counterlock it so it doesn't hit the wall. He's trying to push it himself. And where's the marshals? Come on, guys! Look, even there's the director, the course marshal, who's in charge, and saying, "Guys, come on, get out there, push that car."
Felt to me like they were twiddling their thumbs there. I know they've got protocols to adhere to when it comes to recovering cars, but they did take a little too long to head out there.
Yeah.
They know that the cars would have been travelling at a lot slower speed than they would do on the green flag, so I'm a little bit surprised it took as long as they did to go and retrieve Arvid Lindblad's car. But Lindblad makes his way back towards the pit lane. He hasn't got far to walk, at least anyway, as Arvid, who is embarking on his debut appearance at this track. He hasn't raced here before. Ollie Goethe certainly has.
Right, he's the reason for the yellow flag at 1.
He was able to carry on as he is. I don't know whether he was waiting for traffic to go by first and then rejoin. Yeah, so you just saw that Trident heading through. And Luke Browning is just waiting patiently for the virtual safety car to end, which should do in around about maybe in the next 15 seconds.
Blue flags are now out on race control. That's new to me. I'm just looking at the timing monitor up here in the commentary box. If you take a look at the F2 timing website, it went blue. Virtual safety car is ending. And now we should go back to green flag running. So quick work from the marshals when they actually got going. And away we go again. I suppose can't really criticise marshals too much, or our colleague Nina would have a go at me. That'd be quite funny. Oh, and he's found a deck chair and a piece of biscuit. Well, that's nice. He has got a coffee, yeah. Go on.
I don't know if that's a biscuit or a chocolate.
It looked like Galaxy to me, didn't it? That's
Yeah,
I didn't know if they've got Galaxy over there back home.
Yeah, they will have done. But I don't know if chocolate is the right thing for him to be eating, but I suppose he needs that kind of energy for the race weekend.
And certainly not Galaxy, which is the most oily of the chocolates. It's very silky smooth, Galaxy chocolate. I like Galaxy, but if I must admit, as I've got a bit older, I will just still go for a dairy milk. There's just something more chocolatey about it at the moment. Galaxy apparently, I'm speaking actually to a dairy milk representative. Sounds boring, I know, but he said that Galaxy have actually changed their formula, so it's a bit more oilier now. They've changed how they do their processing for the cocoa powder. But Dairy Milk have actually improved their recipe, so it's more bitey, more chocolatey and milky. So yeah, there you go. Little advantage of the two.
I still remember those chocolate puffins that you used to get
Wow,
from
that's quite
Asda.
years ago, yeah. Huh. That's a blast from the past again, with 2 minutes to go. You have to reply now to messages in 2 minutes' time. Right, hello as well. Travis says, question for JB and the crew. Why is this on JB2 and not the main one? We've had a problem with our stream keys, so this weekend is on JB2 until midday Sunday. So it's simulcasting. So we'll be delayed on JB1, live on JB2, and then the main F1 Grand Prix on both channels. That's the reasons. So it'll be across 2 networks.
Bogdanovic is going to demonstrate how effective the tow is going to help. He's going over the line fastest of them all, 155.7.
That's a better already. Dunn's on a lap, so's Crawford. Watching Alexander Dunn now. They're all snapping, coming through into the back sector. I don't know if that's just the wind of that section of the track, but everyone's having issues down there.
Dunn seems to be coping with it fine. Return Miata goes up to 5th. Dunn Might try and go for another lap if he can help it. He is heading over the line, and fastest by half a tenth on Beganovic. Oh, and they've got 2 cars off at turn 1.
Oh, okay. With 30 seconds to go, I hope they won't yellow flag that, because we need these lap times in. They should be able to loop it back around quickly. It's a big one-off area. Crawford's coming in around the outside of one of the Tridents, and gets ahead there as well of one of the Red Bull liveries. Over the line then for Crawford, 11th fastest at the moment. Can he find something at a double toe there? Yes, he can. Second fastest, 1:55.769, and we've gone green in turn 1. As Villa Gomez, sector 1 though, Tom.
Yeah, that's quite a surprise actually from Villa Gomez, able to hook the lap up so far in the first sector. Now, sector 1 ends after turn 4, I believe, just before turn 5. Villa Gomez, does he go through 15 fine? Yeah, absolutely fine. No problem about that for Rafael Villa Gomez. And in sector 2, he's still fastest over the course of the lap by a couple of thousands now. But it's just, the issue is, because he's not got the benefit of the toe from a car in front of him, this is where I think he's going to struggle the most and really be able to keep the lap time together in the high 55s. So he is going to be able to probably get in the low 56s with this one, Villa Gomez. We'll see soon enough. It's actually a 55.9. So we've got a yellow flag out again. Don't know whereabouts that. Oh, that's done.
He's got way off. Now, how on earth has he managed to go off that in that part of the circuit? And
That's turn 3.
Switch your engine off, mate, because you'll just cook it. And the end of the session's over anyway, and you have to do a 1,000,000-point turn to get out of there. So it's best just to leave it. He's gone straight off at a wrong angle where you can't return from that. And that's going to be critical in the race as well. Make a mistake there, and you're done. Literally, for Alexander. I think he's just going to lock up now.
Yeah.
I saw some lines down. Did he try and
Well, I just hear the engine fluttering a little bit there, yeah, and as he tried to steer there, it almost looked like the power steering had gone on for a moment. Keaton Shields, meanwhile, just sliding past the barrier there. I don't think he actually touched it. So he lives to fight another day. That was close for Keaton. And then for Luke Browning, he was one of 2 drivers that went straight on at turn 1. We're going to see how he's managed to do that. This is a lock-up on the front left. The car wouldn't turn in, and wisely just went into the run-off area.
So it's flags out. Yellows now prevent that as Alexander walks away. They won't red flag it because we need to do some practice starts out there on the grid. But the checker flag falls. And the session is concluded. Alexander Dunn getting a water bottle from one of the marshals. Very helpful, these marshals, as well, actually. Gotta go that way, back underneath the circuit, get him back. This is going to be an interesting situation, but there we go. Martin's not going to go practice start, they couldn't call those brakes down. Several, him and Shields in the pits. And, well, Martin's done, he's off, but he's topped the session, so there you go. Martin, Sturtskin, Lindblad, Martin, Shields down pit lane. So not going to do a practice start on that one. Okay, let's head back down to the world feed for a few moments and catch up with Alex and Chris.
So that was interesting to see.
They were together the whole session, weren't they? Beganovic and Browning pretty much together. I wonder if that's a sign of things to come for them. Alex Dunn didn't, though. He did that lap all by himself. So that was an interesting thing to watch on his onboard. Crawford up there in 2nd. Villa Gomez 5th, continuing that pace from Monza. This we can have a look at them coming down the start-finish straights. Gives us a little bit of a view of what we're in for when it comes to race starts.
Not a lot of space to do a practice start on the exit of the pit lane here. So quite important. It is on this massive, great long start-finish straight. One of the shortest runs to a first corner anywhere on the F1 circuit, this. So the launch becomes extremely important. There we go, straight in. to turn 1, the starting grid.
Monaco is the shortest.
Towards the start, that first corner of the lap, Leonardo Fornaroli finds himself in P13. I'd remind you though of Monza free practice, where both Invictas, I believe, after FP were across the rear of the field, and then Leonardo Fornaroli promptly won the sprint race. So yeah, that was a sense of what happened there. So free practice not always the opportunity to see the ultimate pace of the car.
Got a bit of a scary incident here. You might have remember involving one of the Invictus, Kush Miney, Pepe Marti going over. Eventually all drivers out okay, but here's a look at the launch with Fornaroli.
It's all right to me.
It is a short run, isn't it? And, lots of space on the outside though, but then it can get congested as drivers from the outside try to get back across. That's where it can kind of bottleneck in, and that's where you can see incidents.
Massive amount of camber Dams are running there on the front tyre. The top of the front tyre tilted in towards the chassis. Very interesting.
So done. Fastest ahead of Crawford, Beganovic, Browning, Villagomez, Martins, Mini, Goethe, Miata, then Verschoor, Miney, Stanek, Fornaroli, Dirksen, Stenshorn, Bennett, Lindblad, Cordial, Montoya, Marty, Van Hoopen, Shields. That's your order, of course. Stenshorn, Van Hoopen in for the first time. That's been practice. Qualifying will be at 2 o'clock, a local time here at Baku. 30-minute session to determine the grids for both the sprint race and the feature race. The sprint race will be tomorrow at 2:15, where the top 10 will be reversed, and then we have the feature race on Grand Prix Sunday, a full 29 laps of action. But first, it's qualifying. Make sure you join us for 30 minutes of action from 2 o'clock local time. For now, from Baku, it is goodbye.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Slightly strange there, Tom, that we didn't see the full classifications, but what a session. What's your takeaways?
Brakes. I think brakes are going to be a big thing for later in qualifying when they go onto the ultra soft compound. All the time they're going to find is going to be absolutely paramount around this 20-turn circuit. We know that there's a lot of kings, but brakes are going to be a big, big factor. And I expect to see a lot of mistakes during qualifying, because there's going to be a lot of drivers out there with the points to prove, and when it comes to the sprint and feature races, that's when things will get very, very interesting, beginning with the sprint race on Saturday and then the feature race on Grand Prix Sunday. A lot more to come, I think, in Formula 2.
Indeed there is. Thank you, Tom. Okay, just a reminder then for all of you at home, if you're watching live on JB Motorsports 2, we will be back in 1 hour and 15 minutes time for all the action from the Formula 1 setup as well for first practice. If you're watching on JB Motorsports, everything this weekend will be simulcast as well. So live coverage on JB2, delayed coverage on JB1, all bar the Formula 1 race where we'll join just after lights out. And then IMSA and the NASCAR Cup Series is unaffected. Just a few issues with our stream keys at the moment, so it's simpler to put us onto the second channel. Live coverage, though, on Twitch all weekend long remains unaffected. Thanks, Tom. Thanks to all of you at home as well. We'll be back later for all the action. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.